在这边有交往的经验吗？
有。
很开心吗？
我觉得这是一个很棒学语言的方式。
真的。
不只是语言，但文化也是。跟欧洲跟伦敦比起来，大部分的人也是更快会一起住。
他搬家跟你一起住，他的家庭很失望吗？
哦，没有。我就是搬进来的。
哦，你搬到他们的家？哇！
I'm Phoebe. I'm from London. Lived in Taiwan for 5 years, but I've just moved back. The first time I lived here, I was so young and so broke. I don't think anyone, including myself, expected me to go for that long. My family's always been super supportive. They knew that like something was calling me over to this side of the world. Actually, my family is part Japanese, so we've always had links there. It's my stepmom. Brothers and sisters are half Japanese, half English.
Do you see the Japanese influence here in Taiwan?
Definitely. I think that's also a reason why I felt so comfortable here, especially in the way that people behave, the politeness, orderliness. That made me feel almost nostalgic for like childhood times in Japan. But I've noticed that people from the mainland are very different from like people here. I've heard it's quite lucrative in terms of work, but I don't know if I would want to live somewhere that's so cut off.
一开始有点困难吗？或是
真的很困难，会超级孤单。因为我那个时候是一个人来的，所以我完全没有外国朋友们。但我觉得台湾人对我很好，蛮多朋友帮忙照顾我。其中一个朋友开了一个咖啡厅，所以我就顺便跟他说，也不算打工，就是在那边陪你嘛，然后就是跟客人聊天这样子。My Chinese accent is really good, but when it comes to vocabulary and things like that, I find I'm still lacking because I never actually studied in a formal setting.
Oh, you never really went to school?
I never went to school.
That's even more impressive. 但是一开始如果没有人教你声调，你怎么学这个？
声调是什么？
声调，一、二。
你看我这种东西连不知道啊。
哇
Sometimes I mix them up，然后我朋友会欺负我，他们会笑我，他们说，哎，你刚才说什么？怕丢脸，所以你要记起来。
对啊。
但我觉得这个是学习最好的方法，是你多找台湾朋友们，然后跟他们去唱歌，或是打羽毛球啊，去吃饭呢。我蛮喜欢卤味，因为它也是蛮健康的。有很多料理在英国还是可以找得到，但卤味完全没有。我也是蛮喜欢仙草加芋圆的那种。台湾的甜点也是蛮健康的，感觉吃不胖。英国的甜点都很重。
对外国人来讲，你算是很融入台湾的社会，没有很多外国人真的会交到台湾的朋友。
哦，是吗？
真的。
哎，为什么？台湾人的好处就是人越多越好玩，所以只要认识一个人，他会带朋友啊，然后给你认识很多新的人。
谢谢。
加油！
加油！蛮简单的。
对，我觉得没有那么难了，但我可以理解了，因为我在伦敦的时候遇到的台湾人，他们也都会黏在一起。这一次回来，最近也认识了一些外国人，然后马上跟他们变很熟的感觉，可以了解你的困扰啊，或是你的什么的，就是开玩笑，就是幽默也会蛮像的。在
这边有交往的经验吗？
有。
很开心吗？
我觉得这是一个很棒学语言的方式。
真的。
不只是语言，但文化也是。跟欧洲跟伦敦比起来，大部分的人也是更快会一起住。
他搬家跟你一起住，他的家庭很失望吗？
哦，没有。我就是搬进来的。
哦，你搬到他们的家？哇，好酷！
他们还是对我蛮好的但对我来说还是蛮大的文化差，因为不习惯过这么多时间在一起。Feels a lot closer, I guess. 我连跟自己的家庭不会一起住。That's the thing. Like my parents have always been super supportive in a mentality way, but in terms of a financial way, it was kind of like that's your decision. If you want to do that, you take care of yourself. I got into modeling when I came to Taiwan.
In terms of like beauty standards, is there like more pressure to look a certain way here or less?
Weight is a huge thing here. Like if I say like I've lost weight recently, it might not necessarily be a positive thing, but a lot of people will be like, oh, that's great, well done, you know? And they're like, how did you do that? And I was just like,
I had the flu.
Yeah, no, it's not always a positive thing. I'm extra small in the UK and I'm an M here.
Really? Yeah. Wow, that different.
If you go shopping here, sometimes the store clerk will specifically say, oh yeah, let me help you get like M or L or something. And I'm like, Because in the UK, it's kind of taboo to comment on anyone else's appearance or shape. I get a lot about, like, oh, you're so white. And I'm just like, because growing up, I've always seen being pale as a bad thing. Tanned or sun-kissed skin, that gets more attention. In fact, people think you look ill if you're too pale. Another thing is your nose is very big, which I know they mean it in a nice way. People touch my hair,
like
just
on the street?
Unwarranted, yeah, like an IE or something.
Oh.
I would go so far as to say that people care a lot less about how you look in the UK and more about your mind and sort of your intellect or your creativity or what you bring to the table in other ways. I feel like there's definitely more pros than cons to being a foreigner here. Yeah, I've never felt my ethnicity or my race used in a negative way against me. People generally seem to be very accepting and curious.
Like when you tell them you're from the UK, like, do they have any kind of impressions that you think are kind of funny?
A lot of people think I don't have a British accent, apparently.
Huh?
Yeah.
Very British accent.
I think it's because they see a lot of stereotypes online, either like Harry Potter or they're like, bottle of water, innit? Like that kind of things.
I know that can be kind of touchy in British culture, right?
Oh, my dad would get mad at me and my sister if we drop our T's. Instead of saying water, we say water.
Oh, really?
He'll be like, don't do that. More so than in other languages, you can get a sense of someone's upbringing or their class. There is still a little bit of stigma in certain situations. I think it's weird because whenever anyone hears that I came to Asia at the age of 18 by myself, they're always like, wow, you're so brave, like that's such a crazy thing to do. But I feel like this time around was a lot harder. At age 18, I had nothing to compare it with, you know, and it was kind of like an impulsive teenage decision. I was just like, yeah, like, whereas at age 33, I've already built quite a solid foundation. Like I have a nice place, I have a bunch of friends, like good job as well. It felt like giving up a lot more. I had a lot more anxiety because I knew in hindsight how hard it can be at times. At the end of the day, you're always going to be a foreigner here. Even someone who's as integrated as I am will have moments where you feel isolation or periods where you'll feel very lonely or like you'll struggle. But it's also the sense that anything is possible here. If you're in like the creative field here or something, it's a lot easier to network and meet people who can actually support your vision. The fact that Taiwan is such a small market, it lends itself to that. I get what some people mean about maybe you can coast here a little bit depending on what kind of work you're doing. I think in somewhere like London, because it's at the forefront of everything, all the best people in their fields flock there. So it's a lot harder to achieve something, say for example, in a shop or something like that. In Taiwan, that's a lot more achievable. But it's also rewarding if you like to be challenged a lot because you will improve a lot faster.
You have like some creative pursuits that you're trying to incubate here? And
I would like to get back into exploring other avenues of sharing my experience.
Not TikTok, please.
No, never that. I'm not that Gen Z.
Yeah, thank God. Well, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being on.